Welcome back to the podcast. We're your hosts, Kylie.
And I.
Today we're going to be talking about Valentine's Day, like relationships, money problems, all things like adult-wise today.
Yes.
So without further ado, let's talk about it.
Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, guys.
Yes. Well, when we're filming this, it's Valentine's
Yeah.
Day.
When this is out, it's not going to be. But happy Valentine's Day.
For the first question, oops, I hit the mic. We have, when choosing like what you wanted to major in college, did you choose it based off of like what would make you the most money or what would make you like the most happy?
Me, personally, I chose what would make me the most happy. At first, I was changing from like different interests and I would choose money because that's what my parents would want.
Mm-hmm.
But then I just kind of like figured like why would I want to work for the rest of my life when I'm
Doing
not
something
happy?
that you don't enjoy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it would just be a waste of time and I wouldn't actually value the money that I would make.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
makes sense. You know, what about you?
I feel like I'm like switching back and forth because I was originally gonna major in communications and like media studies, like marketing, advertising, and I didn't really have like a set job for when I wanted to graduate. I just know I wanted to do something in that area because I really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
But I was talking to my dad the other night and he was trying to convince me to switch to pre-law and become a lawyer because like they make about like $300,000 like right out of college if you go to like a really good school.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like it depends on what colleges I'm gonna get accepted to. And if I get accepted to some really good ones, then I might switch my major because I would, like, people value those types of majors at those schools rather than, like, a communications major where I could just get that anywhere.
Yeah. It kind of, like, reminds me of how U of A is, like, more towards, like, political, like, law jobs.
Yeah, like
nursing.
nursing.
And nursing.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, engineering and mechanics. I feel like ASU is more of the journalism.
Yeah, I know they have a really good, like, marketing and communications program over there.
And then I feel like NAU is an art school.
Yeah.
So that's how I, like, differentiate it.
Yeah, I feel like it really just depends on what college you go to.
Yeah.
Like, depending on what major you want to choose. Because, like, if you want to do, like, I don't know, what's an example? I mean, you could do any job and go to any college and do it. But if you wanted to, like, go into a specific, like, business or sort, like, if you wanted to be, like, this is just an example, but if you wanted to be a part of, like, the Washington Post or the New York Times, you would go to, like, NYU and do journalism.
Yeah.
So that when you graduate, you can automatically, like, build your way up to that. And I feel like that's what, like, not what I'm going to do exactly, but, like, that's the pathway. Like, build my way up.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I can see that. I don't know. I mean, like, growing up, like, I was so interested in wanting to be, like, an architect or, like, a design architect, something in architecture. Because, like, my dad would always tell me, like, oh, you would make this much money and you would be okay. But then when I, like, told my mom, I was like, hey, I want to do something in film. And she was, like, iffy at first because she was like, is that really a good job? You would have to, like, move and whatnot.
I feel like it's really hard to be someone who enjoys, like, artsy things.
Yeah.
Not, like, law or, like, nursing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I thought about that, and I was like, obviously, that's, like, the traditional route, but, like, I don't enjoy science or any of that.
I was also thinking to, like, go in law, but not as a lawyer to go in, like, in the police
I want to do, like, because I really want to do something when it comes to, like, business. Like, that's my realm. And my dad was like, you should just become, like, a business lawyer or a business attorney. I was like, that's true, because there's different, like, types of lawyers. Yeah. But at the same time, like, do I really want to be a lawyer? I don't know. I feel like it's, like, that's what college is for, to decide what you want to do for the rest of your life.
I feel like college is, like, the area of what you want to do, and then when you graduate, you can actually figure out what the settlement is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, do you consider success to be like involved with like money or like just happiness? Like, what do you think of when you think of like success?
Success, I feel like it. Me personally, I feel like happiness is successful in succession because it's like I'm very content with like the 3 people that I have like in a room and we're just hanging out. There's no like running around places. There's no like vacations. To me, vacations is the most stressful thing ever.
Yeah.
Because you have to pack, you have to plan, you have to meal prep if like you need to like plan
Save
activities.
money.
Yeah. And it's so much stress. And yeah, it's like worth it at the end, but is it worth it in the time being?
Yeah.
Like that moment.
Yeah. I feel like I consider success like a mix of both because to me, like, I value money, but not to like, not all the way, but I value it to a point where like I want to make enough money where I don't need to worry about money.
Yeah.
Because I feel like happiness can be taken away if you like have to always worry about money and like how you're spending it, because like I get happy from like going to like the mall with my friends, like, or like going to Starbucks with my friends.
Yeah.
Like that's like happiness because I'm spending time with them. But like I if I were to do that and I don't have an abundance of money, then I'm worried about what I'm spending.
Yeah, see, that makes sense. I feel like I'm a little bit of both then.
I used to have like such bad money anxiety.
Really?
Yeah, like my first year of working, I had such bad money anxiety. I wouldn't spend like a single dime. I would save like everything. And like the past year, I think like obviously it's gone away, but I've just like, I think because I spent those 2 years having money anxiety and like not spending a single dime, like this past year I've just been like, oh, I deserve it, like I should get it. When it's like in reality, like, yeah, you should treat yourself, but to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't have the means to treat yourself.
Yeah. I feel like it does depend on each person. Like, different values and whatnot.
Yeah. Well, since it's Valentine's Day, we wanted to talk about relationships, which is kind of an awkward topic, but
it is kind of an awkward topic.
It's fun to talk about it, especially being in high school.
Okay.
Okay, guys, the memory card keeps on being full, so we're just gonna make it a black screen for the last 5 minutes of the episode.
Yeah, it's okay.
How do you feel about relationships in high school? Like, what's your opinion on them? I mean, I know you're in one, so it's kind of biased, but.
So I'm in a relationship. Honestly, I don't feel like freshmen and sophomores should be in relationships.
Yeah, I low-key agree.
I'm gonna be honest. And like, shout out to the couples that made it past freshman and sophomore year that have been together like forever. But I don't feel like freshmen and sophomores are ready to be in a relationship because freshmen can't drive. They don't have a job. They don't have money and whatnot.
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah, that's my answer. I don't feel like underclassmen should be in relationships because they don't have the capacity to be mature about it.
Yeah, I feel like personally, I've only been in one relationship in high school, and I feel like it's fine depending on your level of maturity and independence. But I feel like majority of people that I know in high school just don't like understand how to handle a relationship or like don't have the maturity. Because like personally, I feel like I'm really independent and mature for my age, and I feel like that reflected in my relationship. Obviously not in certain like parts, but I feel like that people who are like independent and think of themselves as mature would be fine in a relationship and would be mature about it and like communicate effectively, but others won't, and that's like fine because we're in high school, we're not even adults yet, or I mean we're adults. But like legal we're adults, but we're not like in the mentally adults yet. So I feel like
I can agree with that.
And like I think you meet so many people in college, like if that person in high school that you like really like you have a crush on them, if like I believe like what's meant to be will be. So obviously if you go off to college and you guys like are still texting and stuff and like still talk, then yeah, maybe that's the person for you. But also, like, you're gonna go through so many stages in your life and you'll meet so many new people. It's really just like, it's okay to just be with someone during like a time period, and then you just mature differently, and it's like,
Yeah, and it depends, because it's either you both mature together or you guys mature separately.
Yeah.
And it happens. I mean, that's how life works. You meet people come and go all the time, and like, I believe in like the right person, wrong time.
Yeah, I think like if you're meant to be, they'll come around again another point of your life.
Yeah.
Because sometimes like you can be together and then you're not going in the same direction, and then you'll meet up together again in another point in your life. There's so many love stories that are like that. So I wouldn't stress about it in high school, like in high school especially, because you have so many other things you need to worry about, like getting a job, saving money, going to college. Like there's so many things. And I feel like once you reach high school, it's okay to focus on like a relationship, but also you should be focusing on your career. Like I'm a big person on like, I don't want to settle down until
like you want your priorities.
Yeah, like I want to put myself first and have a stable career, stable income, like live where I want to live, and I want to fulfill my dreams before I settle down and fulfill dreams with someone else, if that makes sense.
No, that completely makes sense. And it's like the couples here, I know a few friends that are like, oh, well, I want to do this, but they want to do this. I don't know if I can do this. And it's like,
I'll tell you one thing. Do not settle for someone. Like, do not. Because when you look back on it later in life, you're going to regret not having, like, the best time of your life at, like, the peak of your life. So, like, put yourself first. And then if, like, things will work out if they work out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you guys will meet back together again if you're meant to be.
Yeah. And, like, what I was thinking, I'm going to NAU. Lex is going to ASU. Like, my mom asked me, like, oh, how are you guys going to do that? Well,
if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
It works. Like, and I, like, know some people from, like, the past that had went to college already. They were like, oh, yeah, I went to the same college my boyfriend did. And I was just like, because you wanted to or because he was going?
Yeah.
Like, I don't like that, because it's like, I need to focus on my
It sounds like
career.
You're settling for someone else.
And it's like, you should have that priority of yourself.
Yeah.
Too.
I feel like that's okay when you're later in life, like when you're an adult. Like I was talking to Miss Verdugo about this, which we did have her on the podcast, and I forget like the exact thing she said, but she said something along the lines of like, my job can be moved around, my husband's job can't. So she was like, I can like settle down for him. And I feel like that's like fine if you're an adult, like, because then you're like with your lifelong partner and you can settle down for them. But when you're in like high school or college, like you don't have your career set straight, like you don't know what your priorities are yet, so you should put yourself first above other people. Of
course, like it's fun and cheesy, and like the honeymoon phase of being high school sweethearts, completely understandable. But I feel like going back on, I don't feel like underclassmen should really be in relationships due to the maturity level. Because, like, they don't know what they want to do. They don't know what school yet. They're not thinking about it. Like, all those problems. But relationships are a very, like, biased topic.
Yeah. It just depends. Honestly.
But that's our take on it.
Yeah. That's pretty much all we have for today.
Yeah, pretty much.
After some camera difficulties, we finally ended.
Yeah.
Tune in next week. I think we're going to have a teacher. We already have a couple of teachers in mind for the next couple of podcast episodes. Yes. We only have 6 episodes left until we graduate. Just crazy to think about, but
we should make a graduation vlog.
Yeah. We'll probably do a little recap once the podcast ends.
Yeah.
And we'll announce, because we want to not just like throw this podcast away. We want to hand it down to someone else at the school. So we'll definitely announce who that's going to and stuff. But if you're interested, fill out our guest form, and in the guest like comments, just be like, I'm interested in taking over the podcast. Marshall who is like the director of this, he oversees it. He really wants the person to be in film and TV class so that they know how to edit and stuff and they know how to use the equipment.
Yes.
So
So
that's
if you're
pretty much
interested,
it.
let us know.
Yeah. But anyways, that's all we have this week. Bye, guys.